How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figure most journalists would not disclose their sources.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time. My favorite villain? I kind of like Diddy.
There are no misconceptions about me.
You guys don't need to worry about me getting revenge from Diddy. I've got 3 moves that make sure he'll never be able to come after me or my family. First, I personally reached out to the victims' legal teams. The real reason he's not getting out is those buried cases behind the scenes. I provided legal funding for 7 victims who had been silent for years and brought in the top criminal attorneys in the country. Second, I bought up every potential post-release business deal he had lined up. I planned this 2 years in advance, so by the time he got sentenced and still had hope of getting out, every partner had already cut ties with him. Third, I don't just have evidence, I've got backups. This is an entire minefield that's been buried for 20 years. I uncovered every secret from the last 30 years. With testimonies from the victims, we interviewed over a dozen people he tricked, threatened, or violated. You think that's harsh? No, he destroyed other people's lives for decades. I'm just making sure he spends a few extra years in prison for it. I'm not afraid of his people, not afraid of his threats. I know he's still in there fantasizing about a comeback, but the truth is, he's never coming back.
I ain't never made a call to Diddy. I got Diddy's number, just hit him up. Yo, Diddy, what up? Never happened.
He told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what you just said?
Woo. This is a tight one. And the winner is Eminem, the Eminem Show.
Wait, he didn't just spell the word rapper and leave out a P, did he? Yep.
I kind of like Diddy.
That is interesting though, because to a lot of people, 50 is the villain, but I look at 50 as more of an anti-hero. As a person who loves comics, he's more of an anti-hero than a villain.
So you have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
but I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated. So,
guys, this is nuts. Sean Diddy Combs was still filming himself a week before he got arrested, months after the feds had already raided and taken all his tapes. And somehow that footage got to 50 Cent, who's now put it in his Netflix documentary.
I was a party favor. What does that mean? I was a party favor. I was somebody you could take off the table. So you're telling me they set children? I set children on a table. Like when you go to a birthday party and they have gift bags for everybody that comes that have candy and toys in them, yep. And they set them on the table. So you're telling me at the freak off parties, mm-hmm. They put children on the table instead of gift bags, mm-hmm. And then people can do what? Take you off the table and have you, even though it's against the rules to do certain things like their full health. Sometimes that's against the rules. Like for me, that was against the rules, but that didn't matter.
A project some have waited years to see and others hoped would never surface has finally arrived. The documentary, Sean Combs, The Reckoning, was executive produced by Curtis Jackson, better known as 50 Cent. It compiles decades of stories, interviews, and public records to showcase a side of Diddy that few expected to see on a mainstream platform. The documentary premiered at a critical moment, with Diddy already facing public scrutiny due to multiple civil lawsuits and an ongoing federal criminal case. While he has denied all allegations, the film ignited a fresh wave of discussion, not just because of the claims themselves, but because so many individuals finally agreed to speak on camera after years of silence. One segment, in particular, has drawn intense attention. Former insiders and witnesses recount stories of young women allegedly being manipulated, pressured, or placed in unsafe environments. These accounts are presented as allegations, not proven facts, and the documentary emphasizes that investigations are still underway. Nevertheless, the testimonies were compelling enough to leave viewers shocked. It is in this context that tensions between 50 Cent and Diddy escalated. Diddy asserts that the project was designed to tarnish his reputation. Netflix maintains that it adhered to all legal protocols, while 50 Cent insists his sole intention was to expose the truth.
Speaking about Diddy like they did. Netflix and 50 Cent just pulled the curtain back on one of the most disgusting and powerful men in entertainment, Diddy. And what they reveal is darker than anything I think any of us imagined. Secret hotel room footage, a $200 million money move, new witnesses, and allegations that will change how you think of Diddy forever. This is The Reckoning on Netflix. We're talking about it today. Welcome, everybody. I'm Tom Zender. This is Tom Zender Scandal. You're watching 1 Degree of Scandalous. I'm the co-host along with the one and only Kato, K-Train, Kaylin. Kayla, I want to get into this right away. You and I both watched this thing, as did millions and millions and millions of people. I got to tell you, I couldn't wait for it to end. It made me sick. It disgusted me. You know, usually a Netflix doc is so captivating, and this was so well done. Kudos to 50 Cent. You are a hero in my mind, 50 Cent. You really are. We're going to get into this, but I couldn't wait for it to end. I just had a sick feeling about me that this guy, Diddy, got away with this crap for 35 years, and we're going to get into all of the new revelations today and talk about potential implications. But how did you feel watching this thing?
Well, I'll tell you what, Tom, I had no interest in Diddy at all. I had nothing. It was like another Diddy story. As soon as I watched the opening scene of him in the hotel room talking, I was captivated. I feel like it was 50 Cent was like on SEAL Team 6. He went in, he got the footage from this videographer, and it was so compelling. It is, like you said, it is so well done. And all 4 episodes, you're on the edge of your seat. I watched it in one sitting, which I rarely do. And well, I'm telling you, my opinion completely is different of Diddy. I thought, this guy's probably, okay. I met him one time or maybe twice at the Playboy Mansion. I would not want to have any association with this person at all. The way that he used, which we're going to get into, how he used his friends. It's just like everything you're taught when you grow up of being a good person. He did the opposite.
Yeah. Everybody he touched, he destroyed. If you came into Diddy's periphery and his life, your life is over as you know it. You were facing violence, potential death, extortion, entrapment. This guy, and you know what? The doc did a good job of showing how he evolved, right? And his background, which doesn't excuse anything, but I learned a lot from this that we're going to get into. And I guess, Kato, before we get into like the top 10 things that we're going to reveal from this, and by the way, you don't have to be a hip hop or rap band. This is a crime. This is true crime at the core. And we're dealing with a true monster. All right. Ryan Murphy might have his next one right here. Monster Diddy. But Kato, do you think they have Netflix available in prison? Because I wonder if, what the reaction with his prison mates are going to be when they see this.
That's a great question. I think that any visitor coming in is probably telling him, if he hasn't seen it, and this is probably their last visit to see him, saying, you are a POS, a piece of. And like I said, it is this deals with, Tom, not only just extortion of money, never paying thing.
The documentary premiered the week of December 2nd, 2025. Spread across 4 hour-long episodes, it was directed by Alex Stapleton and executive produced by 50 Cent. Almost immediately, it became the center of online discussion. Netflix defended the series, stating that every piece of footage had been legally cleared. Diddy and his legal team strongly disagreed, arguing that the project was biased, unfair, and included footage used without permission. They even sent Netflix a letter accusing the documentary of being misleading. Rather than dampening interest, the controversy only drew more viewers. The first episode opens with a striking scene filmed just 6 days before Diddy's 2024 arrest. In a hotel room, he is shown speaking with his lawyer, saying he is fighting for his life. Diddy's team claims this footage was stolen, while the filmmakers insist it was legally obtained after his arrest. That moment alone sparked intense backlash, but what followed left an even deeper mark. The series features interviews with former staff, security personnel, collaborators, and others who had close access to Diddy's inner circle. Some painted a picture of an environment built on power and privilege, while others alleged that young women were pressured into situations they didn't fully understand. Several witnesses claimed they saw girls who appeared extremely young, with one former worker stating that many of the women entering Diddy's properties looked barely in their early 20s. These accounts are allegations, not proven facts, and Diddy has denied all claims. Still, the sheer number of similar testimonies presented together created a picture that shocked even longtime fans. At the heart of the series lies a single haunting question. How did so many people stay silent for so long?
You have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
but I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to it.
But was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what's going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky. All of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal. You go to the 90s and Keefe D said he paid him to kill Tupac.
Yeah.
So look, like, with the craziest accusations, you had TMZ created a docuseries that went to Tubi, but the series is saying the downfall of Diddy.
You're one of the first persons in entertainment to really call out people and kind of have that authority in that, to be able to call people out. I mean, which is pretty amazing. You're kind of, in some ways, draining the swamp of Hollywood.
Yeah, I don't have a support system. I don't have a support system of a peer group of artists that I require to do what I'm doing. I've had to be on my own from the beginning. So I don't necessarily have a responsibility to behave a certain way according to them. And look, if I didn't have an award-winning director doing it, if I hadn't put the right people in place to produce it properly, I would understand why they would question or doubt anything.
50 Cent did not create the documentary alone, yet his name continues to dominate the conversation. For years, he had openly expressed a desire to expose what he believed the industry had long refused to confront. When Diddy declined the chance to produce a documentary on his own terms, Netflix turned to 50 Cent's team. Critics argue that his involvement was personal. Supporters say it was necessary. What cannot be denied, however, is the impact he had on the project. According to several participants, his presence made people feel safe enough to finally speak. Many had wanted to come forward for years, but no platform had taken their stories seriously. When 50 Cent joined the production, everything changed. There was funding, visibility, and, most importantly, the courage for people to tell their stories.
A new Netflix docuseries about Sean Diddy Combs is making headlines for its never-before-seen footage of the music mogul in the days before his arrest. Now, Combs is threatening legal action against the streamer for airing the unauthorized footage. Behind the series is Combs' longtime rap rival 50 Cent and director Alexandria Stapleton, who sat down with NBC News' Chloe Malas ahead of tonight's release.
Tonight, Netflix releasing never-before-seen video of Sean Diddy Combs filmed just days before his arrest on charges of trafficking and racketeering in 2024. The footage is part of a 4-part docuseries, Sean Combs: The Reckoning, premiering Tuesday. Behind the explosive documentary is Combs' longtime rival, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and director Alexandria Stapleton.
How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figure most journalists would not disclose their sources.
The recordings give viewers an intimate look at Combs' mindset ahead of his criminal trial, even conversations with his legal team.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day. Perhaps. What was he intending to use it for?
I have no idea.
I mean, you're talking about a man who films himself doing everything and has for decades. I think he wanted someone to be behind the the scenes with him.
Combs' team firing back in a statement to NBC News today, saying the Netflix so-called documentary is a shameful hit piece and that they relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release. His team sending a cease and desist to Netflix. Netflix referring NBC News to a statement from Stapleton in which she said they lawfully obtained the footage. After a nearly 8-week trial, Combs was acquitted of the more serious charges of trafficking and racketeering and sentenced to 50 months in federal prison for 2 counts of transportation to engage in. Combs' team going on to slam Netflix for partnering with 50 Cent, who they say has been his longtime public adversary, something the Grammy winner denied, citing his own casting choices in his popular Stars franchise, Power.
One could watch this and think that you really hate Sean Combs.
Why would they be thinking that?
Because of the things that you post on Instagram, because of the...
Look at this. And let's stop for a second and do say that I hated him enough to hire his kids. And we've never done anything to each other. So it's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists while you're in hip-hop culture.
This documentary is one of several that has chronicled Combs' rise and fall, but Stapleton says theirs is different.
Yeah, there's a lot of new information. No one had ever really put it together like that before.
For 50 Cent, he says he feels a sense of obligation.
Well, if I didn't say anything, you could assume that all of hip-hop culture is comfortable with his actions.
And Chloe Malas joins us now in studio. Chloe, you've seen the whole documentary. What else can you tell us about it?
So there's a lot more of this never-before-seen footage, Tom, of Combs having really private conversations with his legal team, and you really get a sense of his mindset ahead of his criminal trial, which is really fascinating for me because he never did any sit-down interviews ahead of the trial. So you finally get to see what his strategy was and how worried he was. But clearly, perhaps he didn't think that he was going to go to prison because he's filming this documentary. You're also going to hear from Aubrey O'Day. She was in the girl band Danity Kane as part of making the band. She has an explosive allegation against Combs. And then there's quite a bit that focuses on the of Biggie and Tupac, and people from Combs' inner circle raising a lot of questions. People are going to also have a lot to say.
In the documentary, 50 Cent appears only briefly on screen, but his influence is felt throughout the series. He helped secure key interviews, provided resources, and enabled the director to explore details that had never been examined on camera before. One of the most powerful moments occurs in episode 3, where testimonies describe young women who were allegedly manipulated with promises of career opportunities, travel, or financial support. None of the women are publicly identified. The documentary carefully protects their identities, but the emotional impact of their stories is undeniable. Some said they were invited to events and later realized they could not leave. Others described feeling pressured to comply because their careers were on the line. A few even recalled seeing girls who appeared extremely young. And these accounts raised a profoundly unsettling question. Did they truly have a choice? For many viewers, this is where the documentary shifted from shocking to heartbreaking. Following the release, Diddy's legal team responded swiftly, calling the series unfair and one-sided. They argued that the project was designed to tarnish Diddy's reputation due to his long-standing rivalry with 50 Cent and accused Netflix of ignoring their warnings. Netflix pushed back, stating that all footage had been legally cleared and that no one had been paid to damage Diddy's reputation. While Netflix stood firmly by the documentary, the real battle quickly moved online.
3 or 4 pictures in the documentary that I've seen of myself. Some people say they saw more, but I know three different times where I was certain places that you could actually see me in the documentary, and that's the only thing you're going to get. But the stories that they told in the documentary, bro, come on. They could have went a whole lot deeper. They could have did a whole lot more. So I ain't in the documentary because that lady that was the director, I think, what's her name? Alex, Alex State, you know her name, Mighty? Yo, Mighty, just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna look this up, all right? Okay. Her name is Alex Stapleton. The director that I spoke to was Alex Stapleton. She was the one who told me that she was the director, she was the producer, whatever, this, that, and the third, the whole 9 yards. And she was talking mad greasy to me. And listen here, it's no after you talk that kind of talk to me, it's no amount of money she could have paid me anyway for me to get in there. You know, my story is more too valuable, you know, getting in depth with this whole stuff, and it would have helped that documentary a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? In actually, they used all the stuff that I told them and did it the way that I was saying do it. Tim Dog started off with the childhood with Puff and the whole 9 yards. Kirk Burrows do the business part, but they was trying to put people in there like Mark Curry and other people to talk about the streets or what was going on, you know, a certain thing. But Mark can only say so much, you know what I'm saying, because he was an artist, you know, so he wasn't with Puff like I was with him during that time when we was running back and forth here and there and the whole 9 yards. So, you know, Miss Alex Stapleton is the one reason why I'm not in the documentary, but it's all right with me. I've been in a lot of documentaries. I did The Shine, I did A&E, I did the Discovery Channel, I did the Fox. You know, I've been in a whole lot of different documentaries, and I'm always on the Art of Dialogue. So the people been getting most of the information from here anyway.
Yeah, man, you always on here, man. I always got to bring you on. So with that being said, man, I want to get right into the documentary, man. How you feel about the documentary, man? The behind the scenes footage they got of Diddy leading up to him getting arrested, and how you feel about all that, man?
Well, what I feel about the documentary, they left a whole lot of key things out. If they was going to do something and they're going to say in the reckoning of Sean Combs, the reckoning, or Diddy, the reckoning and stuff like that, it should have been a lot of people that we lost because of him. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't only Big, it wasn't only Tupac, you understand? For the atmosphere that he put those kids in. You got a guy named Anthony Wolf Jones, who was from Bad Boy, from its conception as doing security and being one of the financiers of Puff having to have some money to keep Big and Craig Mack around before he got to Clyde.
After the documentary's release, 50 Cent shared clips, jokes and comments suggesting that the truth was finally coming to light, deliberately distorted. Yet public attention kept returning to a central focus: the young women whose stories appeared in the documentary. Their voices became the heart of the controversy. The documentary does not reveal the full names of any alleged underage victims, as legally this cannot be done without consent or verified evidence. Still, it includes multiple testimonies, strongly suggesting the involvement of girls who were either underage or very young at the time of their alleged experiences. The filmmakers handle these accounts carefully and deliberately. One former employee recalls that many girls visiting Diddy's properties appeared far too young and seemed visibly uncomfortable around older men. Online reactions quickly intensified the discussion. One post on X read, "The more I watch this Diddy documentary, the more disturbing the pattern becomes. He doesn't just pursue women, he targets women connected to the men standing beside him. He gains access through proximity and then manipulates situations behind the scenes. Misa, Kim, Sarah, Cassie, all connected to men within his circle. It even changes how I view his friendship with Jay-Z. Diddy doesn't network out of loyalty, he networks for leverage. And someone like Beyonce would have represented the ultimate prize. When that door was clearly closed, the friendship remained, but the pattern still speaks for itself. This isn't attraction, it's ego, power, and control. Once he gets what he wants, the outcome is always the same." These accounts remain allegations, not proven facts, yet their inclusion and the sheer number of similar testimonies ensured that the conversation around the documentary would not fade quietly.
I was a party favor. What does that mean? I was a party favor. I was somebody you could take off the table. So you're telling me they set children? I set children on a table. Like when you go to a birthday party and they have gift bags for everybody that comes that have candy and toys in them, and they set them on the table. So you're telling me at the freak off parties, they put children on the table instead of gift bags, and then people can do what? Take you off the table and have you, even though it's against the rules to do certain things like their full health. Sometimes that's against the rules. Like for me, that was against the rules, but that didn't matter. That did not matter. So they come choose you off the table, do whatever they want with you, and then what happens? And they put you back on the table. They put you back on the table for somebody else to come choose you? Okay. That's called a party favor effect. That's just one of the little things that go on at the freak off parties with children. Were there animals there? Goats. Did they turn the animals loose on the kids? Yeah. And if you got sick and threw up because it was so disgusting, what happened? You had to eat it. You had to eat your vomit if you threw up. That's satanic ritual. Diddy was at this party? Denzel Washington was at this party? Yep. Birdman was at this party? Yes, he was. And Young Jock? Yep. And you're telling me Denzel was there and it was after 1 o'clock when he supposedly left? And beanie, socks, and a gold chain. So you're telling me Denzel Washington was... He had a beanie on, socks on, and a gold chain, and that's it. In front of children. Funny. Because he sure portrays himself to be holier than thou. Yep. So a lot of them do. I think you also told me that one of those men have a birthmark. Left thigh. So one of those men have a birthmark on their left thigh. Did you have interactions with Diddy? Denzel? And I know we don't tell on Denzel. You might not tell on Denzel, but your mama gonna tell on everybody. I ain't keeping no secrets. Denzel? Yep. Birdman? Did Birdman promise you things? So much. Like what he promised Lil Wayne at a young age. Because you know we share the system together. Share a birthday together too. I know a lot of you have seen P. Diddy get guardianship.
One anonymous woman recounted an experience from her teenage years, describing how she felt pressured to stay at an event that turned out to be nothing like what she had been promised. Another witness recalled seeing girls dressed in outfits that made them appear even younger, painting a picture of an environment that felt unsettling and unsafe. A singer, speaking in a separate documentary years earlier, shared testimony about what she believed she witnessed at a party. After The Reckoning was released, her comments resurfaced, further intensifying public discussion. The documentary also references past lawsuits, including cases involving women who claimed they were under 18 at the time of certain events. Some of these lawsuits were later withdrawn, others remain active, and some allegations have never been proven. And yet, when all of these accounts are considered together, a consistent theme emerges. Many of the women involved felt they had no choice, no voice, no protection. For many viewers, that sense of helplessness is the part of the documentary that lingers long after the credits roll.
But I gotta be honest, I'm kind of shocked. You'd think, well, this should all be included, should it not?
Listen to me. I'm gonna get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is
like the way he's bossing around these high-powered lawyers is so revealing.
part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer.
Look at that smile. Look at that smile. Oh, he's loving this.
Jackson, titled Sean Combs: The Reckoning. Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching?
I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account in how he was coming off to the public.
We knew that was coming, by the way, because we learned that throughout as he was using his own kids to post birthday messages and etc. Like, this guy wants to control everything.
The exclusive video also shows Combs in Harlem greeting fans.
He's like, oh yeah, look at all these. This was yeah, what's up? Let me shake your hands. Yeah, let me take this. He thrives in this. This is when people recognize him. He seems to, what up? Like, barely anybody there. He's like, yeah, everybody's here looking at me. He's like the quarterback that can never graduate, it feels like to me.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath.
I've been in the streets amongst people. I gotta take a bath. He's like horrified. He's disgusted by it.
Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with. Like that's what I have to do.
I have to do it. Not like, oh, that was so great, I loved it. I have to do it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like 150 hugs.
He's got to take those 150 hugs. Now, that's when she asked like 50 Cent, why'd you include this?
Like, I need to wash. Like, I'm dirt. That was, it shows you his character.
Is that was that the reason for including it?
Yeah. I mean, what's the odds that you would do that in front of the camera? Like, that's one of the moments where he forgot he was on tape.
I think he does that a lot, surprisingly. I think he just lives his life with cameras. He was filming his most intimate moments, allegedly, with these freak-offs, right? Revealing his true self and the most, aggressive side of himself. He didn't care.
I respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform.
What they consider a pre-existing beef, right? For 20 years, right? Is me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping, or I looked at it like it was like a tester, like maybe you'll come play with me type of thing, right? And it's not personal.
I think it's important.
And she chimes in too, but I want to, just before we hear her pop, he says, what a feud. I put 2 of his kids in my scripted TV shows. I just didn't like, he said fruity S to me, and he said fruity S to me. I don't like that, LOL. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it. He just said it, I think, very clearly. Look, he was testing me. Are you in? Are you in to play? Are you going to play along with me? Can I have some fun with you? I do think, clearly was it. Can you be my Paul? Is what he's trying.
One of the most striking aspects of the documentary is not just the allegations themselves, but the silence that allowed them to persist for so long. For decades, Diddy stood as one of the most powerful figures in music, business, and entertainment. Many feared that speaking out against him could mean losing access, opportunities, or even risking personal safety. That fear kept countless witnesses quiet. In The Reckoning, several insiders finally describe how the industry often protected itself long before it protected young women or vulnerable artists. One former manager portrayed an entertainment world built entirely on relationships, where anyone who disrupted the system risked being shut out completely. Others admitted they had witnessed troubling moments but convinced themselves it was not their place to intervene, aren't concerned about contracts, careers, and the connections they relied upon. Some also confessed that they remained silent, assuming someone else would step in, or that legal teams would act if anything.
By this point, Diddy and 50 Cent have had a long-standing beef, and 50 Cent was trolling Diddy throughout the entire trial. Those AI memes on his Instagram were crazy work, but this doc also has something else. It has never before seen footage of Diddy right up to the point he was arrested, and we also hear from 2 of the jurors. In July, just a reminder, Diddy was convicted on 2 charges of transportation to engage in, but found not guilty of the more serious charges, that's racketeering with conspiracy and trafficking. He is now serving a 50-month prison sentence and has said he will appeal. In a cease and desist letter sent on Monday, lawyers for Mr. Combs demanded that Netflix withdraw the series, contending the footage had been illicitly provided to the streaming service in violation of contractual agreements. The letter asserted that running the footage would be a copyright violation and that it likely contained privileged communications between Mr. Combs and his legal counsel. Netflix say the footage was legally obtained. Just a warning, this episode contains strong language and content some listeners might find upsetting. If you have been a victim of or you want some support, details of help and support are available at bbc.co.uk/action line. Today, I'm very happy to say that we have Cheyenne Roundtree, Rolling Stone's senior investigative reporter, joining us once again. Welcome back, Cheyenne.
Hi, good to see you.
It's lovely to have you back. We've had the end of a trial. You got married. There's been a lot going on, but here we are. Something that 50 Cent promised, he's delivered upon. It is a long documentary, 4 hours, 4 parts. The wildest thing to me is the footage of Diddy just days before his arrest, talking to his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo. Listeners will know Mark Agnifilo was lead counsel, and he led the closing arguments, which finished 2 rounds of applause at the trial. In the footage, Diddy's making plans, calling people involved in the cases against him, civil cases and the federal case. It really is extremely intimate. Cheyenne, tell us some of the stuff that we see.
Where to begin? I think what you kind of take away from this is just like how Diddy's mind works a little bit. You see him strategizing with his attorneys about social media reach and thinking already ahead of before he's even arrested how to reach potential jurors. And he's telling his team, like, don't just be going.
Diddy continues to deny every allegation. His legal team maintains that all encounters were consensual and insists he has never harmed anyone, arguing that the documentary is unfair and misleading. Netflix, meanwhile, stands by its work, stating that all content was legally approved, and 50 Cent maintains that the truth is finally coming to light. Yet the most important questions are not about celebrities or rivalries. They are about the young women who say they felt cornered. Remains. What happens when the next wave of witnesses decides to speak? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe so you never miss an update. And until next time, keep it real.